that's the story behind how Honolulu became the capital of the Hawaiian Islands, mainly because of the shipping and commerce, because of all the harbors along Honolulu, the Honolulu Harbor, and of course that well-known, even more well-known one called Pearl Harbor, which you're going to see in a few minutes on your left-hand side. Alright, so in a moment we're going to be getting on the H1 freeway. And yeah, believe it or not, we actually have interstate highways here in Hawaii. But especially for those of you guys from the continental United States, which us folks here in Hawaii call the U.S. mainland. You're probably wondering why we have interstate highways here. Now, before I go on answering that question, I'm going to explain something to those of you who are from other countries, not from the United States. Within the continental United States, they have all these highways. They're called interstate highways, and the reason why they're called that is because they basically, among other things, connect one U.S. state with another. But take a look around you folks. Do you see any other U.S. states? No? Yeah. We actually have two very different reasons why we have interstate highways. The first reason is because all four of these interstate highways, which are built here, which are all here on Oahu, were all built using federal funds. So as a result, they're part of the Eisenhower interstate system. And the other reason is to connect military bases here with each other. In fact, when then President Dwight David Eisenhower first proposed this interstate highway system back in the 1950s, he did mention that was one of the purposes of this interstate highway system, to connect military bases with each other. That way, if any of our troops get deployed, they can get to wherever they gotta go in the fastest and most efficient way possible. Now, I'm not exactly how efficient that can be here in Hawaii, because the highest speed limit here on any of these free highways is only 60 miles an hour, or about 95 kilometers. The reason? If you go too fast on any of these highways, especially this one, the H1 freeway, you're going to wind up in H2O. You know, all that water between here and the west coast of the United States. Yeah. And the trouble with that highway is it's kind of hard to use your car on that one. In fact, throughout this segment of the this tour, we're actually gonna come across all four of these interstate highways. But in the meantime, for those of you guys from the continental United States, you guys know something missing on our interstate highway here?
Mile markers.
What's that? Nope. No. Yeah, that's one of them. There's no roadside rest areas. But I'm looking for something more specific. It starts. Nope, we got mile markers. I'll give you a hint. It starts with the letter B. Wow. Guys, notice there's no billboards on this highway? Yeah.
No,
yeah. B is in boy. Yeah. Yeah. So there's no billboards here. And the reason why there's no billboards here is because of because of a group here in Hawaii that call themselves the Outdoor Circle. And one of their main purposes is to help maintain the beauty of these islands, and they feel billboards gets in the way of that. In fact, they were mainly responsible for passing legislation that actually banned billboards back in 1927.
So
Yep.
the cost of living is their own damn.
And they're still a very powerful group to this day. They're still very much. They're still around. They're still around. I believe they were established back in 1912, and they were actually started by a group of women, wives of politicians and other figures here, prominent figures here in Hawaii. On your right-hand side is the Moanalua Gardens, and this was actually at one point the summer home for King Kamehameha V. At the very center of this park has a huge monkey pod tree, as it's called. It's also known as a rain tree. It looks like a huge umbrella, and it's very well known in Japan because from 1973 to 2016, the Hitachi Corporation, one of the largest electronics corporations in Japan, actually used the image of that tree as part of their logo. And then in return, the Hitachi Corporation made a donation to the Moanalua Gardens Foundation. So it's actually run by a non-profit organization. And for many years, all the way up until COVID started shutting everything down in March of 2020, we used to see a lot of Japanese tourists come here to the islands. In fact, at one point, Japan, the Japanese market for as far as tourism was actually our number two market. And whenever the Japanese came here to visit, one of their go-to places was the Honolulu Garden, so you could see the huge Hitachi tree, as it's known as in Japan. In this valley here to your right-hand side is the home of the very first golf course that was established back in 1898, called the Honolulu Golf Course. And if you're wondering whether it's a complete 18-hole golf course, it's not. It only has 9 holes. And then this hospital here to your right-hand side is the Kaiser Permanente Honolulu Medical Center. That was built in 1985, and it replaced the original Kaiser Hospital that was actually at the very beginning part of Waikiki from 1958 to 1986.